school, and when I got my senior diploma, my dad handed me my diploma, and he looked at me and whispered in my ear, he says, "I can't believe they passed you." This is when he's saying, that's a true story. I was supposed to go to the military, didn't work out, and ended up getting in the bar business and just didn't have any, any set path. A few people started to encourage me about maybe starting my own business. I got involved in some stuff and really began a journey, I guess you could say. And this is actually, I'm jumping right into this, so you're going to write this down, is I want you to remember this. There is no quantum leap to success. Okay, because here's the thing. You guys are going to be here at this conference. You're going to be very excited about the information you hear. You're going to love the guest speaker I have coming up with me. But you're going to run out of here and you're going to go, wow, and think you're going to be a millionaire by the weekend. Hopefully I'm not going to disappoint you, but it may take you a little longer than it appears to be on the norm, okay? So, but be encouraged that people can do this. I mean, looking back at my history and to be where I've been today, I've had the ability, the privilege of speaking all over the world. I've been able to travel the world. I've been to Rome and Thailand and Singapore and things like that. So to go back where I used to be, I had a guy right when I was sitting in a cafe text me on Facebook today that said he and I used to bartend together, and I hadn't talked to him in years, and he just happened to instant message me saying that he's been looking at some of my stuff on the internet, and he was really he's been inspired by me, and he's like, "Man, have you come a long way?" and a big smiley face saying LOL, you know. So that's kind of neat that I'm actually having an impact on a positive way, using my powers for good and not evil anymore. So this is something you want to write down as well, because I think this is the phrase, as really the subject matter of my conference or my speech today, is do today what others won't so you can live tomorrow like others can't. Do today what others won't so you can live tomorrow like others can. And that's so important. And I want you to write this one down too. Ignorance on fire will always beat knowledge on ice. Ignorance on fire will always beat knowledge on ice. It's very, very important, because here's the thing. Believe it or not, statistics show that the majority of people that come here or attend events like this, most of them get the warm and fuzzy, but then they never apply anything. Okay? I'm telling you with everything in me, I'm sure God would much rather have you go out there and mess some stuff up than to just sit back and think about it. You know, there's plenty of stories in the Bible that talk about, you know, that what good is your faith if you don't put it into action, right? Like Pastor said, you can sow money all day, you can give, and think that money's just going to drop out of heaven, and it's not. You have to apply real-world principles in the marketplace to capture wealth and make an impact on you, your family, your community. Does that make sense? Okay, this is I'm going to give you a book recommendation, just because I think it's a very simple book to read. I'm a big fan of listening to audios. This book is also on audio, and it's called The Slight Edge. The Slight Edge. And I did not a homeschool, but a life group here at our church for business people, and how we were doing some marketing and things like that. And I referred it to people, and I got nothing but positive feedback. It was referred to me a few years ago. And the whole premise of this book, The Slight Edge, and the author is Jeff Olson. If you just Googled it, you'll find it. It's right on the front page. You probably buy it straight out of Amazon. But Jeff Olson was a guy that started studying business. Okay, he took it upon himself, and he wondered, what was it that was separating some people from the rest of the people? Why were some people so much farther ahead than other people? And he really took the time to do some due diligence and do some research. And I mean, a lot of you guys have heard the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is really what that study was about, that he did. He studied all these people. But the Slight Edge, what I like about this book is that he talks about the differences in the people of what they apply, not on and I started this with not a quantum leap, because a lot of people want the quantum leap success, right? They want to look like the millionaire and be the millionaire without doing the processes. Now, I personally, I bodybuild, I work out a lot, okay? I actually just did a bodybuilding competition about 4 months ago. It was actually the largest amateur bodybuilding competition in the U.S. And my buddy Corey actually gave me the diet on it, and we see each other every day at the gym. And I had to be diligent to do the small things every single day that most people would not, right? Now, everybody has the opportunity to be a bodybuilder or be successful, but why is it that most people don't or do not succeed, okay? The reason is that it's easy to do something, but it's even easier to not do something. Does that make sense? Okay? So going back to what Jeff Olson had shown is that typically success is not the quantum leap, but it's a series of small steps that you took towards a specific written down goal. Okay? Like I see people sometimes, and don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to be direct. If a friend tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, okay? A lot of people, they'll come up to me and they'll go, wow, you know, I would love to look like that. Yeah, you would like to look like me if it was easy, right? The problem is you're not going to look like me because you've chosen to, instead of walking, a mile a day or going to the gym for 20 minutes. Like, I only work out. Corey sees me. They laugh they make fun of me because I'm only in there like 20 minutes. I go real hard, real fast, and I go home. And, the other guys are in there for hours, but they're not even sweating. I'm exhausted. I put bullet points together. But most people won't. They'll make the decision not to go in and do those things, okay? And it comes down to business. So let's talk about how this applies to your business, okay? You're going to have to decide what it is you're trying to do here, right? Everybody's got your idea. You're here for a reason. You have a general idea of what your business probably is. What you need to do is you need to seek out and find those tools, that information that relates to your business, and basically pray it out and get the direction, and then be diligent on a daily basis to do that. I love that the verse in the Bible that says, don't worry about tomorrow, because it's got plenty of worries by itself. Just take care of what you can control today. Usually what happens is people look too far down the road. Not that you shouldn't have vision, but you start to look at the problems you might have, and it starts to buffet your brain. It just kind of makes it to where you get overwhelmed to the point that you're now at a point of inaction as opposed to action. And I learned that a while ago, and when I finally said, you know what, all I can focus on is being the best Mike today that I can today. And when I go to bed at night, I go, okay, I did the best I could today. I talked to the people I was supposed to. I read one chapter out of this book I've been trying to finish. And guess what? If I do those things every single day consistently, what happens to my life? It goes again and again. Think about it. If you read 10 pages in a book, a good business book on your subject every day, you can keep it in your bathroom while you got a little spare time. Read it in there. At the end of a year, you would have probably read 6, 7 very good business books. I guarantee you will exponentially see an increase in income just from that action alone, period. I'm telling you, you will do that. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't do that. Now, this is something that I wanted to make sure. I wrote some major points I wanted to make sure you got in here. Getting answers and ideas. I want you to write down this scripture. It's Romans 8:26. Anybody ever been confused? Or just me? Am I the only one that's been confused before? Anybody ever been confused? Okay. One of the things you got to hold on to is, obviously, if you're teamed up with God and what you're doing, you can definitely go a little higher than a majority of people can. It's a gimme. Okay. The thing is, there's a little secret that we have that a lot of people don't understand. It's praying in the Spirit. This is something that I have been diligent about now for years and years and years, where if I get frustrated, I get confused, I don't know where to go or what to do, the Bible clearly says that if you do not know what to ask for or how to pray, pray in the Spirit, and then God will direct your steps, right? Commit your works to the Lord, commit your plans to the Lord, and who will direct your steps? God will, right? You'll get ideas. And guess what? It's easy not to do. A lot of people think, well, I didn't pray my 5 hours today. Who cares if you didn't pray 5 hours today? God didn't care if you prayed 5 hours. If you prayed 1 minute a day, and that was all you did is pray 1 minute, at the end of the year, you probably still would have prayed more than the majority of people out there in the society. And I guarantee you'd have ideas flowing in. Does that make sense? Don't get condemnation about, I didn't pray at all today, even though you were thinking about God all day. Understand that if you just say, hey, God, I'm having some trouble here, help me out. Guess what? That's me and God having a business relationship, a partnership. You're having a partnership with God in that aspect, okay? Another one, here's to back this up. 1 John 5:14. We can be confident that when we ask anything according to God's will, we know that He hears us, knows that He answers us. That's where you can actually relax in your business endeavors, okay? There's a difference in striving to become successful out of panic and anxiousness and walking in that place of rest, knowing that God put that idea on the inside of you to the point that when you were going that direction, you knew that all things were going to work out for the good of those who love Him, right? Because that's the thing. It's a lot of this stuff is not a battlefield in what you're doing necessarily in business. A lot of it's up here. It's a daily thing that you have to really be keen on understanding and stick to, okay? Now, the other thing I want you to write down is I want you to write down association. Association. Doing things, we're on the same topic of doing things today that other people won't. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33, says, bad company corrupts good character. I just heard this morning, actually. I was listening to one of my CDs, and it said, you are the combined average of your 5 closest friends. Now, this might be brutal for some of you to hear, but it might help you. Sometimes you have to disassociate yourself with people. There are family members that I will not be around. Not that I don't love them. Well, I know I hear all the, you got to walk in love, and what about being a friend? No. If they're not adding to my life, they are not part of it. If it's somebody that's pulling on a negative basis, they get scratched off the list as far as association goes. It is so critical that you protect your time. Okay? There are so many people that on a regular basis will allow people to just sap them of their energy, sap them of their strength, sap them of their desires, sap them of their dreams, and they never take the stand that I'm not associating with you anymore. Think about me back in the bar days. I used to think it was insane that anybody would want to be married, and because then you would have to go home. Think about that. I used to make fun of people that were married in my bar. When I was bartending, I'm like, well, I'm married. I got to get home to the wife. I'm like, dude, this thing's just getting ready to kick in. It's 11:30 at night, man. We'll be partying till 4. What are you doing? Duh, right? People should have disassociated with me a long time ago back then. Just run, right? Okay. But once I got my, it says, be transformed by I don't know if I told you this one, Romans 12:2. Write that down. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I forgot, I skipped down. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. As I started to associate with people that I admired, that I looked up to, that had a positive influence in my life, guess what seemed to all start to come together? Everything, right? When I started disassociating with people that really had bad influence on me, that I was we just kind of worked together in being bad influences. And I started to associate with people that were going somewhere, things really began to change. And when I started renewing my mind, and that comes from, like I said, reading the books, reading the Bible, coming to church, associate things like that, that's when I really started to go to another level. So make sure that you understand that you have to be around the positive influences, the people that are going to help you. Now, isn't that awesome? Right? Say, if Corey can do it, I can do it. I always make sure that at any training I do, by the time everybody's done, they go, if Healy can do it, I know I can. That's pretty much the thing. I know we're kind of getting down to, I know they wanted to leave us a little time so I can get you guys out of here. This is kind of something I want to leave. I think I briefly mentioned it, but I want to leave you with this phrase here. It's obviously a scripture. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Okay. One of the things that I finally came to realize after I renewed my mind, I was coming to church on a diligent basis, was the fact that God wanted me to prosper. Okay? Money's not good or bad, it's just stuff. And here's what I will tell you. If you're an idiot without money, you're going to be a bigger idiot with a lot of money. If you're a good person without money, you're going to be a huge blessing to a lot of people with a lot of money. Okay, that's what you have to understand. It's not good or bad. It's money typically amplifies the character of a person too. You'll see that come out, and I'm sure Corey's already got family members he didn't realize he had that are coming out of the woodwork and will be shortly. Hey, buddy, how you been? You like my car? I know it's a little old, right? One of those deals. I saw that happen when I started going to another level. You'd be shocked how many people want your money but aren't willing to do what you did to get it. Okay, so don't forget that. So commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. If you have any questions about any of this, I have a website. It's kind of a blog / training site / videos / everything about me on there. It's called whoismikehealy.com. Healy is spelled Healy. Whoismikehealy.com. You can see there I do different business posts on there. I've got some different tools posted on there. I do a lot of video trainings on there. A lot of my business background comes from the networking industry and sales. So I've learned a lot of these skills in that area. It's really been a blessing to me to be able to just be honored to be asked to even be up here to begin with, that pastor would even recognize of what my accomplishments have been. And I'm not kidding, I would not be here today if it was not for my pastor. Absolutely would not be, without a question in my mind. I'm glad they got me on when I introduce him, I'm glad I have bullet points to stay on, because if they actually let me share my heart about what the impact he's had on my life, I wouldn't be able to make it through one of the introductions because of the character of the guy, to watch how he's raised his family. Because here's what it comes down to. We all want tons and tons of money, and we want to drive the nice cars. But ultimately what it comes down to is, obviously, we want to help people. We want to help ourselves, obviously, because it's a lot more fun with money than without. And we want to help our families. We want to leave a legacy. We want to do something. It says that a righteous man leaves up an inheritance for his children's children. I can't see anybody that has a job 9 to 5 that's going to leave an inheritance for squat. For anybody, not just their children's children. They're not leaving anything for squat. The dog's not getting any money, nothing, okay? Not to be blunt, but I'm being blunt, okay? It's going to take doing a business. It is not an accident that you're here, okay? Regardless of what your financial situation is, and I'll encourage you with this. At our old church, it would look like a warehouse. It was literally, when you would drive up to it, you thought they were just changing tires and impounding cars there. Right? Am I lying or not? Right? Everybody, a lot of you have been there. And I remember I had like $150 to my name. And we had a guest speaker come in, Pastor Kate McVeigh, and she started praying over people. And she called me up and she spoke something into me. She said, you've got a prosperity anointing on you. You got a I can do it almost verbatim because I have it on audio and I've listened to it hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of times. And she said that that this church is going to a different level, that there's many, she said there's be many millionaires come out of this church and this ministry. And I'm now starting, and back then I was like, I don't think she knows what she's talking about. I'm gonna have to probably borrow gas money to get here. One of those deals. I'm like, she might wanna go check with somebody. And what was funny is literally within probably a year's time, my business just exploded. And it was because it wasn't that it was something getting lucky. It was to the point that I had been diligent back in the day when nobody was looking, and doing the things, reading the books, associating myself with the right people, that now when the opportunity arose, I was ready to capture that and ready to do what I was called to do, which I know now what I'm called to do. It's to minister to people, to public speak. This is something I enjoy doing. It's fun to do. And I'm just telling you, you guys, that there's not one lady, guy in this room that doesn't have something special in him, that God is not, he has not forgotten anybody here. Regardless of what your circumstances are right now, everybody can go to another level. And you just never know who's going to walk into your life that will be either an inspiration, a blessing to you, or you'll be an inspiration or blessing to them. And it's kind of neat how this will all happen. So again, I sincerely thank you for your time. Hopefully you got something out of this. Give it up for my guest speaker, Corey Gregory, and myself. Thank you.